Okay.
Hi, I'd like to talk a little bit about my metaphors of learning and teaching. And the first thing I wanted to talk about is where I was and where I am now. And initially, when I was challenged by the team to think about what is my metaphor of teaching and learning, especially in relation to teaching online, I had a picture of bifocal lenses. And so I actually thought this was pretty good because I'd done quite a bit of teaching online, and so I figured I had it pretty much figured out. And I was using the both bifocal lenses as being something where lenses have three different levels to look through. It can be really close at a medium range or for a distance. And I felt like that teaching, especially online, was kind of like that all the time while we're teaching, I need to be thinking about what are our immediate or close-up in your face things that we need to deal with, what are the medium range things, and what are the sort of things at a distance. And I was saying how we have tools, in this case like the technology, which helps enhance our vision on what we can see and what we can do and how we can learn. So that's the way I was looking at it. And then when I talked to the early childhood team, they asked me questions like, so like what happens if you don't have the glasses? Or what happens if, how come you're the only one that can look through those lenses? What about the students? Are they just seeing what you're seeing? So they asked me some really good, challenging, meaty questions that really made me think about that really hard. And over the years, as we were working together and talking and sharing what we were doing, I began to do some knitting. And as I was doing my knitting, I was thinking about no, in reality, kind of the knitting is more like how I'm viewing the teaching and learning in online circumstances, because it has to be stitched together and put together, and the previous experience or the previous technologies build on the new technologies, and that's how it creates this thing called learning. And it's also malleable. It has ways it can move and stretch. And it also has holes and bits and pieces and things that it can do. And when I'm relating it to my work, I think about, okay, I'm knitting this thing, but I'm not the only player here. That there are other aspects as well. And some of those aspects might be that, and I've woven these through, might be like, for example, it might be with the students for sure. It might be specifics in the technology, and they're all woven together. And then the only one I know for sure is this thin yellow thread for me is like the policy and the context of the university, what I'm bound by, what I'm given the freedom to do by, and how it has to weave through and connect to everything else too. It's also related to my to my natural self and who I am. And I tend to be, for example, I put this shell in here. It can come out because sometimes I get attracted by its shiny bits. And so I'll see a new piece of technology, which might be like a shiny bit, and I'll go, ooh, and I'll follow it down that road, really being excited about the shiny bits. I'm collecting like a little magpie or something, until I have to sit back and listen and think, wait a second, how does it fit into my students, to the policy, to my own beliefs about learning and teaching? Does it fit in, or do I need to throw it away? And there are some things that are kind of like my shiny bits, but they're chunky and they're meaningful and they have depth and they go someplace. And that's like my nautilus shell that has the Fibonacci sequence that goes, to me, starts out shallow and wide and goes deeper and deeper and deeper, and that's a good bit, a good shiny bit to keep. And then there are things, and I think circumstances that make a difference in what I do in terms of my teaching and technology. They're based on my past experiences. And I use this tool because before I came here, I used to be a seamstress, and I made tutus for ballet. And so this is a piece of a tutu that I was making for my daughter. And I thought it was important to put because it speaks of my past and the experiences and how they impact on what I think about things. And in here I put some holes and torn it and did little bits that I put through here. Now, one of the things you have to know is that building a tutu, and you use this kind of folding Probably takes thousands of hours. So the thought of me taking a piece that was actually going to be a tutu and ripping holes in it was really a bit gut-wrenching. But I think it's really, really important because it's not only the pretty and the finished products and the things that we create that make the learning meaningful or good, or if say the technology, if it's a pretty technology that makes it good. It's also the warts and the holes and the ripped and torn pieces that make it that way. So this is where I'm at in my journey right now. I know I still have a long ways to go, and I know that this is going to change in colors and texture and in feeling. But right now, this is where I'm at in terms of my learning and teaching.